Good morning. It's Matt with No Lonely Roads. This morning we are going to attempt to get down to this ancestral dwelling. Should be interesting. Let's go. Hi everyone. My name is Matt Relkin, but I'm better known as No Lonely Roads on Instagram. I've spent the last 2 decades seeking out and documenting indigenous cultural sites, mostly focusing on rock imagery. My main goal for sharing these videos is to help educate and spread awareness of proper etiquette when visiting these sacred places. But I also just want to share the wonder and beauty of these irreplaceable national treasures. I'm no expert, nor am I a spokesman for indigenous cultures. I'm just a dude who's become obsessed with rock imagery, and I'd like to share my adventures finding these sites with all of you. So please join me on this journey into a world of history, mystery, and wonder. This is No Lonely Roads. This is my target this morning, a large ancestral Puebloan dwelling site that's across the canyon. But first I need to figure out a way to get to it. So I slept up here on this rim last night. The wind was pretty gnarly, but it's nice waking up to this landscape. It's just so epic. So let's take a moment to talk about cryptobiotic soil. That's this stuff. It has these little peaks and nooks and crannies. It just looks like dirt with a little dusting of black on top, but that is a living organism, hence the cryptobiotic soil. When they say don't bust the crust, they're talking about this stuff. It's a very important factor to this desert ecosystem. See, there's a path here that I'm following. It is through the crust, but this has been well worn. You want to stay on trail. You don't want to walk on that stuff. This is an actual microscopic image of what it looks like the moment before you step on cryptobiotic soil. Please don't bust the crust. It's crazy that there's old cow patties here. I mean, that cow patty could be 50 years old, maybe more. I tried to look it up to see how long they last. But you'll go to sites that have been closed off to grazing for 50, 60 years or more, and there's still dried cow patties out there. It's nuts. They last forever. A lot of these lands that have archaeological sites are still open to grazing, which is asinine in the sense that cows can rub up against rock imagery and basically wear it down. They stomp through sites that have structures, that have pottery, things like that. There's just too many sites to protect. You can't fence them all off. You can't turn them all into a national park or a monument. It just doesn't work that way. Their only protection is stewardship and just knowledge and respect, and knowing what to do when you find a site. Knowing what not to do, I guess, is more important. It's one of the reasons I want to make these videos, and one of the reasons I've been posting rock imagery for so long is to try to help turn the tide of understanding, where people just look at it as, meaningless imagery, not really knowing that it has deep meaning and still has deep meaning to the living descendants of the people that created it. And that goes for these ancestral structures as well. A lot of these sites are still visited. People leave offerings. They have a lingering energy to them. I don't want to sound too woo-woo, but they do. They feel like they're alive. Just like cryptobiotic soil. You don't want to crush them. You don't want to destroy them. You want them to be here for a long time. There's some remnants of a granary. I say granary because it's not very big. Actually, who knows what it was? I mean, there's no mortar in any of the rocks. Maybe there's just none left in the bricks. Maybe it was just too windy. People could have set that up who come out here camping. I don't know. It doesn't ring true to me. It could have been just a shelter, a temporary shelter even. I just don't see any mortar. If it was a granary for storing food, it would have mortar in it because they would want it airtight. Although, that's some mortar right there. Dang it, right there. So, it's just a granary in real bad condition. Yeah, that's mortar right there too. This. Okay. That might be a way down. And then when we get across, I think I gotta hike up this to get to the rim to get over to the structure, which is down there. And then you climb down to it from the top. Okay. We're close to the bottom, but we're not there yet. I guess this looks doable over here. Yeah, that's doable. I'm gonna switch my camera bag to the other side so it's not pushing up against the wall. Under here. All right. Yeah, this is just friction climbing. There is a step here. Looks like someone's made a step down right here. There's some stacked rocks. Sorry, camera bag. Okay. All right. Now we got to get up, apparently, to the other rim. We got to get up here and then walk over to get to the structure. So I think I got to pop over right here. This is sketchier than it looks. Got my bag up there, so gotta go up. Okay. Getting down is going to be interesting. We're climbing up this. Shouldn't be too bad. There's a crack that you can kind of balance off of. The worst part is these hiking pants I'm wearing. Most of my pants are loose. These things are tight, kind of around my thighs. Makes it hard to bend my knees as well. Man, this is not easy. Having a problem right here. This kind of bows out. Can't really get good leverage to get around it. Damn, I don't want to give up when I'm halfway there. More than halfway, but I also don't want to kill myself to go see a site. And I feel like this is the only way up. Maybe I'll walk down the canyon and just give it a look. Feels lame to get this far and have to turn back, but I want to keep doing this for a long time, so if I get to a situation where it seems too dangerous, I'm going to turn back. It's not worth it. This is about having fun, not risking my life so that I can make a video. We're calling this one. It's still early in the day. It's going to get crazy hot again, but hopefully I can take us to some more interesting spots. This definitely isn't going to be one of my best videos, but the reality is they're not always winners, and sometimes this stuff is beyond my skill level as far as canyoneering goes. So if I was here with somebody else, maybe I would have taken the risk, but I'm by myself out here, and I want to come back out from that canyon and see other sights. So that's that. Maybe next time. Hi guys, Matt here from No Lonely Roads. I'm still drying my bathing suit, in case y'all were wondering about that. I'm going to take you to a very special pictograph site. So let's go check it out. This is a site that I've been to many times. I keep returning to it. It's like visiting an old friend. I'm excited to show it to you. It's a Barrier Canyon Style PICTOGRAPH site. And should be around here somewhere. Look at that.
This is Barrier Canyon style rock imagery. The dating of this style has a wide and debatable timeline, but the general consensus is it's likely a minimum of 1,000 years old and possibly as old as 5,000 years or more.
There's a lot going on here. So being Barrier Canyon style, these could be between 1,000 to 5,000 years old or more. I know that's a wide date range, but that's the best they can do for these. I guess you could take off pieces of paint and get those radiocarbon dated, but I think even that is not totally accurate. I think first off, I just want to point out these smaller zoomorphs. Look at the wing with the tiny lines and little feet, the little lines on the tail.
Most of the imagery at this site looks like it was painted with fingers, but this and a few other images seem to have been painted with a fine brush of some kind, likely made from plant fiber or animal hair. You can see tiny lines for the legs and feathers on the wings and tail.
There's another one like a hot dog. Where's he at? It's another little guy. Well, there's a big zoomorph up there. There's part of a zoomorph that spalled off. You can see the legs, a figure. I've always kind of wondered what this one is. It's weird. It is, you know, kind of a mirrored image of this side with the rays and this side coming up with the rays. That line in the center, but one of them's filled in, one of them's hollow. There's a figure there. Another figure down here, probably. This elongated, I guess, figure because it has legs, but it certainly looks like a great horned owl. Oh, there he is. There's my hot dog.
Another tiny zoomorph painted with some kind of brush. This could be a sheep or some other game animal, but there's also a possibility that it's a dog. Dogs and turkeys were the two earliest domesticated animals in North America.
Look at how fine the lines are for the legs. The head and the ears. I love that one. Looks like some sheep down there. There's a zoomorph that's faded. Figure. This weird thing, I've heard people theorize that it's like a flying squirrel or something. I don't know. I don't know about that. Another shape and figure. And then you have this figure head. You can see the eyes and look at its arm and kind of like a claw there. Claw there.
What I find most intriguing about this figure is it looks like the eyes may have been painted with a different color. You can see a slight variation as we zoom in.
And this elongated figure here, another one made out of, looks like just fingerprints. Most of these were probably drawn with fingers except for, you know, the smaller forms, and they could have used a like a yucca brush or animal hair. Nice sheep right there. He actually has 6 legs, it looks like. Figures. And then there's kind of like a second part. It's pretty wild. There's this guy. Looks like he's got snakes coming down from the hands. Now snakes are sometimes thought to represent water. This could be like a rainmaker or kind of a sympathetic magic asking for rain. Another figure here, mostly kind of finger marks, curves down there. There's a couple more figures that are faded, another one. Some paint on this. So yeah, you can see it's in this hollow boulder. And then over here, this is interesting. It's kind of indented rock and looks like there could be seepage that would drip down there because that looks like it's had a lot of moisture running through it. You can see smoke staining around the entrance. Here's another bit of paint. Not as much smoke staining inside. A little bit over here, nothing over by the pictographs. Obviously they didn't want to cover them up with smoke, but I guess they would light a fire right here. And then a lot of smoke stain over here. Or not, maybe that's not smoke stain, that could be something else because it kind of runs up the side. I'm not sure. I've looked over here before to see if there was more paint. There very well could be, and it's just worn off. I've de-stretched this entire boulder pretty much looking for extra stuff, and I only found one other spot, which I will show you in a minute. But let's step back a little bit here. Kind of get a wide shot of that. Look at that. Okay, so I've looked all over this boulder. And I'm going to show you a little spot. For those of you that might know this site, you might not know about this aspect of it. I found this out by essentially sticking my head in there. That's what I'm going to do right now. It's a very small pocket in the boulder, so kind of got to lay on my back. Ooh. Okay. Alright. There's a figure up there.
This is the fainter of the two hidden figures, but you can make out arms and legs, and then these long head adornments.
Even better, there's this horned figure.
This one's easier to see, an obvious anthropomorph with horns.
Right there. I didn't see anything else in here last time, but pretty cool. How you doing? I might just take a little nap in here. I'll get right back to you guys. And there you have it. It's a fantastic site that is mostly pristine. Hopefully it stays that way. I'll keep coming back as long as I'm around, but hopefully this one outlasts me for quite a while. It's done a pretty good job so far. So, thanks very much for coming along. Like and follow. Oops.